Hello, you're listening to Hugo Talk, so I'm going to look over the toxic propaganda gutter press headlines today. Some people say to me, why? Why do you look at this crap? Well, I know it's crap. Unfortunately, I believe the majority of the public still are believing this nonsense. I could be wrong, it may not be the majority anymore. And the headlines are the main messages that the system is trying to indoctrinate the public with at this specific time. And seeing that there is a strategy to create division and segregate people, I believe it's a good idea to keep an eye on what these creatures in the media are trying to tell the majority, because they are weaponizing the compliant against the minority. So we'll have a look at both the UK papers and the Irish newspaper headlines. Here we have: booster jabs plead to keep Britain safe. Well, this is all about getting the compliant ones to go get their boosters. There have been reports of late that many people are not going back to get their boosters. In fact, Sajid Javid is going to be making a statement tonight, where they stand up behind a podium to give them the illusion of power when they have no power at all, really. But yeah, he's making a statement tonight, and he will tell the public, people need to go and get the boosters or we will lock you down again. That's what he's going to be saying tonight, ultimately. So yeah, this is the world we are living in at the moment. Again, we need the majority in every nation to wise up to the digital technocratic enslavement they are being herded slowly into. So share these videos, share them in a place online where you think the majority will see them. Notice here on the front page, we also have the royals. Not only on the right with Kate Middleton and Anton Deck, but also the Queen here in the corner. The royals are always on the front page of newspapers and are always talked about how wonderful they are when they do feck all, apart from take everyone's money from every working person in the UK. These propaganda rags must be owned by them, must be. Here we have the Daily Star, and once again we have the Queen. More rubbish. Up in the corner here is a good example of fake reporting within fake reporting, or controlled opposition. Noel Gallagher of Oasis, who has been moaning about Insulate Britain, who are actually Extinction Rebellion. Now, Noel is a member of the Peekaboo Club and has often been used by the establishment to make the public feel that they have someone over there within the establishment, within the media, that has their voice, that there is someone in the world of celebrity that speaks for them, when the reality is he is controlled opposition. In this, he says all the things about Insulate Britain you would expect. How much of a pain in the arse they are, how disgusted he is with them. Never mentions that they are actually Extinction Rebellion, or that they are funded by the system. Of course not. Funded by the system in order to bring about chaos and delays. And what he says is what many of the public are thinking. But by doing this, the mainstream media give a voice to those who are angry. It's like a release valve, okay? Because they then see one of the establishment speaking for them. But the overall plan, I believe, is that these fake protesters under instruction are going to cause so much mayhem that the cabal or government then will bring in new policies of banning protests altogether. Therefore, more new laws which will restrict people, the real people, who will in the future be out protesting against the real freedoms being taken away from them. That's what this is all about. And Noel Gallagher is just following instructions, playing his I come from a council estate card, when he sold out a long time ago. It's a fake interview talking about a series of fake staged events. It's all an agenda. Here we see the Telegraph and Bill Gates. After hanging out with Boris Johnson, he went on to see the Queen. Once again, the royalty on the front pages. And notice the little handshake. All the Queen's businessmen, it's entitled. So we have the Queen meeting with all of these technological businessmen and climate people, yeah? Which again, is all about the digital infrastructure that is being built to enslave everyone. The cashless society, the passports, the social credit system, the smart meters, the blockchain system that's going to be coming in SIM cards, all to track you and monitor what you're doing 24/7 because it's a full-on control and exploit system over you that is being set up, and everyone will be affected. You see the police who are at protests, stopping, arresting people who are trying to get their freedom back, they will be affected. Okay, the police, the accountants, the lawyers, everyone is going to be screwed over by this. Do you think they will need police when every person, every step they take, every purchase they make, everything, everywhere they go, everything you do is monitored 24/7, where you will be controlled by automated penalties and fines? You won't need the police anymore. Facial recognition spots where you are, automatic fine, taken from your cashless money, from your online bank. You know the score. Anyhow, the Queen meeting Bill Gates. Notice that Bill is in line, waiting, with a little name card on him, as he lowers his head in sign of servitude to the royals. It clearly shows you who is who in the power structure here. Here's another, more. Get your booster. People are not following the narrative. Nudge them. And once again, more royal propaganda. Oh, here we have in The Guardian, and on the front page, we see Michael Gove. It says here, abhorrent behaviour, lockdown protesters target Gove. And if you look elsewhere, you will see headlines like anti-vax mob, anti-vax yobs harass Gove, etc., etc. Again, this is yet another load of nonsense. The same people, the usual suspects involved with this. Another setup, just like the shopping centre, just like the Battle of Hyde Park, just like the trying to get into a TV studio and the chasing after a BBC reporter. And a lot of them end up, of course, in the mainstream news. Like I've said before, everything in the mainstream news is there for a reason. And all of these events in the mainstream are then used and weaponized against the movement. It's used to paint protesters as mindless thugs. And in this case, it also works in alignment with government ministers calling for more protection since what happened last week. It plays into that story as well. People say to me, Hugo, it can't all be fake, mate. I know it sounds like I'm repeating myself, but it is. I mean, we're living in an age of deception, and the press, the media, has evolved into something quite seriously messed up, especially at this time. All what we are seeing has been in the planning for decades, maybe longer. So of course, there are many counter strategies being used all over the place, in the media, everywhere, which is their main weapon of mind control against the public. And let's just take a look at Ireland. Here we have the Irish Sun, and here we see very little has changed in Ireland since the so-called Freedom Day, October the 22nd. The medical apartheid will continue, although most pubs are ignoring these rules, and good for them. But look at the way this front page frames this. Party on, it says. There's nothing to party about. There is no real changes apart from nightclubs. And then they are saying you have to have a passport and wear a mask when you're not dancing. That is nothing to be partying about. That is something to rally against. It's your freedom at stake. See how they try and make it all a bit of a joke with the main image in order to take away the reality of the seriousness of the situation at hand. The seriousness being that the public are being herded into a digital technocratic enslavement grid. Okay? That's enough from me. Share these videos. Get them out and about. Share the website, hugotalks.com. Come and subscribe to the tribe at hugotalks.com, a place for like-minded souls who don't follow the herd.